does the State Fair and autism have in common? Find out as Lois meets the advocates. Chef Tom Dickinson tells us a GF-CF diet is not only delicious, but affordable. Find out one way to keep your children safe on your next outing. And 2 great ways to get your children into the kitchen. This and much more on this episode of Autism Today.
Hello, and welcome to Autism Today. I'm Lois Brady, and I'll be joined with my co-hosts Thomas Todd and America Gonzalez as we head to the California State Fair, where we catch up to a group of very talented performers called the Advocates. The Advocates are articulate, friendly, and very talented. But as director Nancy Ducamas tells us, this has not always been the case. Being a part of a performing arts group has made all the difference in the world for some of these individuals. They have increased their language, their communication, their social skills, and have become very outgoing and friendly. So let's catch up to them and see a couple highlights of their performance at the California State Fair. Teamwork, self-esteem, spirit building, confidence, and pride in accomplishments.
I'm Matthew Ciramelli, and I am one of the advocates, and I always like entertaining our audience with lots of good songs. Welcome to the Advocate Show, and we're glad you're all here!
Without a doubt, music and movement are excellent ways to facilitate language and communication. Through music and performance, individuals are encouraged to maximize their potential in a supportive environment. Performing arts turns the brain on and gives the whole information assimilation process a boost. The perks are endless and can inspire imagination and creativity. Performing promotes both verbal and nonverbal communication.
What's going on? What's going on? What's going on?
Music is an outlet for positive self-expression. So, if you're looking for an activity that promotes communication, language processing, social skills, and can lead to a paid vocational activity, consider the performing arts. You may boost the quality of life for your entire family.
Thank you.
So how'd you like them? Weren't they great?
They were amazing.
They really looked awesome. It looked like they enjoyed their time while there.
They did. They had a great time.
And it must be really interesting to note that when the children are up there, performing and everything, the music is, getting different parts of their brain working that, perhaps in a school setting it may not be, turned on. So it's nice to have that extracurricular thing to go to.
Right, and the extra social interactions that are offered by seeing perhaps some people they know and some people they don't know in an unfamiliar setting like at the fair.
They had to meet and interact with lots of people that day, and they all did a very wonderful job. The director, Nancy, told me that a lot of them never even went and talked to folks beforehand, or their speech was very limited and low, and now they're talking, they're interacting, they're going out and introducing themselves to people. So it's been nothing but positive experience for all these kids, and they get paid for it. So it's a vocational activity for them.
Awesome.
Wow.
Yeah. So
Awesome.
Check out the Advocates.
So I bet safety is a bit of a concern at the State Fair.
Oh, safety is a huge concern, not only at the State Fair, but at the mall, first day of school.
A lot of the times the children will have those safety bands with their name on it,
Correct.
but sometimes they'll just rip it off and
Yes.
you don't know if they're going to have it on or not.
Many students on the spectrum don't like the bands or the necklaces, and they do take them off and rip them off. So what are you going to do? Parents, 92% of parents actually are very, very concerned and report their kids wander when they take them places. Even just the local store, they're very concerned about their safety, yet they deserve to be out in public. They deserve to go to the store, to the mall. What can parents do? And luckily, Thomas has brought us a solution.
So today we have the safety tat. It's a quick sticker that you can write on for safety. And so we're going to open this up and we're going to demo this for you.
How do you apply safety tat? It's easy. First, make sure the skin is clean and dry. You can use the provided alcohol wipe to help. Then, pick a spot on the arm where the safety tat is visible, but the child won't be tempted to pick at it or remove it. Like here, on the outside of the forearm in between the elbow and the wrist. Or here, right below the shoulder. Or here, on the inside of the wrist. Remove the safety tat from the large sheet first. Be careful to avoid touching the adhesive. Next, press and hold the safety tat in place for at least 20 seconds. This is a very important step to ensure that your safety tat lasts a long time. Then, peel away the top layer starting at the slit. Lastly, write your mobile phone number on the tattoo. As an added precaution, we recommend not writing the child's name on the tattoo. To remove the safety tat, simply peel from the corner. Your safety tat will last for up to 2 weeks. It is fully waterproof, stretchable, breathable, and ultra durable. Thanks, and enjoy your day safely using Safety Tat, the tat that brings kids back.
That's one tip you can use to keep your children safe at the fair. So while at the fair, Thomas, I did notice that there was plenty of food booths around. They had everything from fried butter to buffalo wings and corn.
The fried Twinkies.
Fried Twinkies.
So how did that work with the gluten casein-free allergy?
Well, unfortunately, even though there was plenty of food available, there was not food for our students with autism who had sensitivities to gluten and casings. So what we had to do was bring in our own food at that case, and they got to miss out on all the wonderful foods there. However, I think we do have a solution for that also, don't we?
Yeah, that reminds me about Chef Tom Dickinson.
Yes.
He is a wonderful chef. He's developed 2 cookbooks, gluten-free, casein-free, for people on the spectrum who may have allergies in this direction. And I've had the unique opportunity to get to sample his cooking and see him firsthand do it.
Yes, he actually did a recipe for that would include your kids, to bring your kids into the kitchen. He's really big on getting the kids into the kitchen, or if you wanted to, you could do this as a whole classroom project. It's a wonderful classroom project. I know America does lots of cooking with kids in the classroom.
Yes, usually in the classrooms we tend to incorporate a lot of the different goals that they're working on. For instance, we will bring in their math skills. We might also bring in their science. You know, you have the measuring, and you have like 2 tablespoons or 3 cups, things like that. So it's really exciting to be able to incorporate a lot of goals into one activity.
I like to work a lot on those social skills activities built into the cooking of turn taking and handing off, and trying to expose students with special needs to some flavors or some food types that they may not have gotten the opportunity to sample, which I really like about Tom Dickinson and a lot of the foods that he uses in his recipes.
Yes. Chef Tom would like to tell you that his food is always sensory rich. There's the textures, the taste, the smells. It looks beautiful. It tastes wonderful. And he would also has an eye on economy. They're very, very economical. He was saying he's making some wonderful dishes for less than $2 a plate. And that's a wonderful thing. And they only take, I'm going to say, half an hour to 45 minutes, and you got a complete dinner that your kids have helped with, hands-on, in the kitchen. You build memories, you build lots of skills. These are life skills.
And I also think that that is really important, because when a child gets to work on their own food and they get to feel like they are contributing to the family, then their self-esteem gets boosted, and the life skills that they are learning that you just mentioned, that will stay with them for a long time, maybe even forever. If you practice them more, it will become cemented. So it's really awesome that we can do the cooking.
Yeah, we'll talk about the dishes later.
So why don't we go ahead and move off to Chef Tom. Welcome today to the Living Word Fellowship. I'm here with Chef Tom Dickinson, and what do you have for us today?
Actually, today, Tom, we're actually going to be making some pasta. And people ask, pasta? Like, I thought this was a GFCF show. And it is. We're going to be making some gluten-free, casein-free, fresh pasta dough. And I think pasta dough is actually a wonderful thing you can do with your kids. It's absolutely fun. They can work at it with their hands, And as everybody knows, children on the spectrum like to stimulate. And I like to call making fresh, gluten-free, casein-free pasta dough a delicious way to stim,
The fine motor skills, the gross motor skills involved in rolling and making pasta with the kids is awesome.
Absolutely. The type of pasta we are going to make today is peachy. It's actually a hand-rolled Tuscan pasta where you actually hand-roll every single noodle, and it's a great way to get the kids involved. And the more kids, the merrier. The more kids come over, they can each take turns hand-roll noodles. I taught my middle school students this. They absolutely love it. There's kids that are making this at home. And one great story I wanted to share, my middle school students, they actually had all their pasta made, they had it cooked, they had their sauce made, and everything done in under an hour.
So Chef Tom, what ingredients are we going to be using today?
We're going to be making a basic tomato sauce with some ground beef in it. We're just going to make a basic meat sauce. A little bit of garlic. We have some canned tomatoes that have some basil and oregano in them, and basically salt and pepper. And we're just going to keep it really simple. And because this is one of those dishes, it's not just for parents to cook for their kids on the spectrum. I want somebody who's actually on the autism spectrum to be cooking this dish as well. And that's very important. That's a mission that has been my mission statement for the past year.
So Chef Tom, what are the ingredients in the pasta?
What we're going to be using the pasta is a cup of fine ground rice flour, a half a cup of potato starch, a half a cup of tapioca flour, and we're using 2 tablespoons of xanthan gum. And people think that's kind of weird, and they know what xanthan gum is. Xanthan gum is a stabilizer, and it's very commonly used in gluten-free cooking. Some people get scared by it and say, "Oh, it is that xanthan gum. It has gluten in it. I can't have it." Xanthan gum is a gluten-free product. It's used in all gluten-free bread. When you see a regular piece of bread, or you're making bread, regular bread, you pull it apart, you see those fine fibers, that kind of spider web like thing going. Yeah, that's the gluten in it, and that's what holds the bread together. What xanthan gum does is actually replaces the gluten and stabilizes the bread and helps in the baking process.
All right, so over to the pasta then. So now we're going to knead the pasta?
Yeah, we're going to work it together. Usually with kneading it is to develop the gluten, but with this, the pasta's still a little wet. So we're just going to add some more rice flour to it and just kind of work it in.
Do you have a preference of the white rice flour, brown rice flour?
I like the white rice flour. It's actually no different. You can use whatever kind you want. I've known people who used quinoa flour for pasta. I've known people who use gluten-free all-purpose baking flour. There are gluten-free all-purpose flours that are pre-mixed, that have the xanthan gum pre-mixed in them, and I've used those before for making like crepes and making pancakes and just stuff like that, and it all works. So basically what I'm doing is this dough is still a little loose. I'm just adding some more flour to it just to give it some body, just to give it some toughness, and we definitely want to do that, because if a dough is too loose, it's just going to fall apart. Usually if you're making pasta dough, we definitely have the pasta maker over here. I've made pasta with that before, but a lot of people just can't afford a pasta maker like that, And they're thinking, well, what can we use if we don't have a pasta maker? The greatest pasta maker you can have in your house is one of these. You can use just a rolling pin. I use a rolling pin to roll out the dough, and you just can roll it and roll it. And this is how the old Italian grandmas used to do it. They used to roll out the dough, roll it, and just completely have fun with it. So this is what we're going to do. We're actually going to use the rolling pin instead of the pasta maker, and I'm going to show you how to make these wonderful noodles called peachy, which is, like I said before, this pasta is actually a lost art. We're actually going to lay this out here, and I'm going to show you how we make this wonderful hand-rolled Tuscan pasta. We're actually going to roll the dough like this. We're going to roll it out like this. And what we're going to do is we're actually going to just roll it out a little bit. Give it some good length, you know. Have some fun with it. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the knife. We're going to bring it across here like this. And just cut our little pieces. Because everybody's like, well, those aren't evenly. Those aren't going to, what about you saying if you cut it evenly, it's going to cook evenly? Well, this is an exception to the rule. And what you want to do, and Tom, go ahead and you grab a piece of pasta yourself. Okay. What you want to do is you want to take this noodle and you want to roll it in your hands. You know how your kids on the spectrum, they're getting excited, they're rubbing their hands together. Put a piece of noodle between their fingers and check it out. What you're going to have when you're done, you're going to have wonderful hand-rolled, I mean, this pasta, they hand-roll every single noodle. What you're going to do is you're going to have a wonderful noodle that looks exactly like this, that your kids have made. It's going to be absolutely wonderful. And everybody's like, well, gluten-free pasta takes twice as long to cook as regular pasta. These will take 1-2 minutes tops to cook. And these are absolutely wonderful. It's just a rustic, hand-rolled Tuscan pasta that is absolutely delicious, and your kids are absolutely going to love eating, and they're going to love making it. And so we have these, and I'm just going to sneak right over here to the fridge.
Oh, nice.
Yes. Oh, yes. Magic of TV, everybody. We have here some hand-rolled Tuscan pasta that I actually made earlier today. It's absolutely beautiful, made from the same recipe. I'll have the same recipe available. And these have kind of dried, the noodles have kind of dried out a little bit, which is great. And you want them to dry out some because you want to be able to put it in the water and be able to soak up a lot of that water, especially salted water. And this is absolutely delicious. So we're going to set these right here. We're going to actually add these wonderful noodles that we've actually just did. Next, Tom, we're actually going to make our sauce for these wonderful noodles, and I'm going to show you guys how we're going to put this all together.
Awesome.
And this sauce is really, really simple. It's just this tomato. The tomato has oregano and basil in a puree, and then we're going to add some fresh garlic to it and some meat to it, and that's it.
All right, so now we've got the garlic done.
Got the garlic. We got the tomato. We got the crushed tomatoes. We got the ground beef. We have our pasta. Now it's time to go over and let's get this stuff on the stove and have some fun.
Awesome.
Take just a little bit of ground beef. Let's stick it right in there. We're going to break it down. We're going to put the garlic in right now. We turn this down to a low heat. One of the great things I like to do with garlic is you just move it around the pan a little bit. This is a trick that my boss taught me when I was working at the Skyline restaurant at Arc Arena. I said, Tom, put some chopped garlic in the pan, move it around the pan, and the aroma of the garlic will fill the entire room. And what we're going to do is we're going to add our crushed tomatoes in here. We're going to get that going right here. We're just going to work it around. We're going to have a lot of, and we're going to start building that flavor. You know, you got the oregano, you got the basil in there. So now it's time to put in the pasta. We're going to take our pasta over here. Our wonderful peachy that we made today. Looks absolutely fabulous. And these nice hand-rolled noodles, I mean, this is a great way to get your kids involved. We're going to start putting these in here. And when you put them in there, guys, put them in gently. You don't want to mash them all together. You want to remind your kids, let's put these in gently. And everyone's like, well, how do you know when fresh top pasta is done? When it floats to the top, it's finished. So actually, this pasta is actually almost finished right now. People ask me, Chef Tom, why are you doing this? Why is it so important for you to get kids with autism to cook? Because cooking for yourself builds confidence, increases independence, and it improves quality of life. Absolutely. And I think we can all look and agree on that. Let's slide this over here because our noodles here look to be pretty much done. So what we're going to do is we're going to take these noodles out. We're going to pull them out of here. We're going to bring it out here. And this pasta is just absolutely fun. And you know what? Your kids will be so proud. And you know what? I think if your kids take ownership of this pasta, they're going to want to eat it. And you say, oh, my kids are picky, they don't want to eat this. If they take ownership of this and they know that they made it, they're going to feel so good about themselves. They're going to be totally confident, and they know how to cook something, so their independence is going to be increased, and they're going to be smiling, they're going to be happy. And what does that do when they're smiling and happy? It improves quality of life around the house. So it's exactly what I said about cooking for yourself. All the noodles are out here, so we're going to put these off to the side. We're just going to fire this up again. Get some heat going on here. And we're just going to, you don't want to really like stir, really, you just want to kind of fold it. You want to fold everything in. Look at that. Look at that. This is absolutely beautiful. We're going to turn the heat off here. And now it is time to plate this. All right, Tom, now it's time to plate. So we just made this. Remember, our sauce is garlic, crushed tomatoes with a little bit of oregano and basil. We have just some ground beef. Very simple. It's basically the same stuff you'd find in like Hamburger Helper. This is probably about $3 or $4 a serving. So we're going to plate it up like that. And like you can do the same. You can just spin it around like that and have some fun with that.
God, that looks incredible.
Yes, it does. It's absolutely fun. It's
I love Italian food.
Yes, so do I. And people think, and that's the one thing about, people with autism. They think that Italian food is unapproachable because of the pasta. They think that, like Chinese food is unapproachable because of the soy sauce. Nothing is unapproachable with GFCF food. I mean, the reason why I do this is it's not just to get people on a diet. I want to reinvent this food. I want to change it into being known as a cuisine, and that's what I'm doing here. And now it's time to dig in. So, Tom, I'm going to let you go first.
Oh.
Yeah. I actually tasted these noodles earlier. They have actually a really excellent mouthfeel, a nice chew to them.
It's really good. It's very clean flavor.
Yeah.
The noodles are awesome.
I hope you guys have really, really enjoyed this. And you guys, I want to show you again. This is our gluten-free, casein-free, peachy and meat and tomato sauce with a little bit of ground beef. Guys, this could be your dinner tonight.
Thank you for watching. This has been Thomas Todd and Chef Tom Dickinson. Thank you, sir.
Oh, thank you very much. I really enjoyed it.
Tom's food was real good. Hand making the noodles was incredible, and the scent was just wonderful.
Oh, the garlic and everything. But I like the favorite part too, the rolling of the noodles with your own hands. That was really, really nice.
Yes.
The sensory of the stickiness was incredible. The sensory of the actual textures was just surreal.
Again, that was Chef Tom Dickinson, who already has 2 cookbooks on the shelf, Where There's a Meal, There's a Way, and Cooking with Class. Because we all believe that just because someone has to have a gluten-free, casein-free diet doesn't mean they need to miss out on the sheer delights of a hand-rolled full plate of Tuscan pasta. So, to get more information on Chef Tom and his gluten-free, casein-free cooking, please go to our website, autismtodaytv.com. So getting your kids into the kitchen and enjoying cooking can have tremendous benefits for you, your child, and the entire family. You can build memories and self-esteem that's going to last their entire life. However, we know that getting kids with autism into the kitchen is not always easy. And I do have a couple of tips that are going to help you be able to bring your kids into the kitchen and have enjoyable experiences. The first one is getting them to be able to regulate the noises in the kitchen, such as the power equipment, the blender, the microwave, and any of the kitchen equipment that makes noises. So letting your children turn the equipment on and turn the equipment off will give them control over the loud noises in the kitchen and make the whole experience a lot more pleasant for everyone. The second tip I would like to give you comes from an unlikely source, technology and the iPad. In our segment called Apps for Autism, we want to introduce you to 2 apps that provide highly motivating cooking activities that will help your children learn the vocabulary of the kitchen, the cooking process, how to slice, how to dice, and recipes. So our first app that we're going to introduce to you is called Toca Boca Kitchen. And this app is just highly motivating for kids. It's very fun, and it walks them through some steps of choosing a food product, preparing it, and also eating it. So let's take a look at Toca Boca.
Huh? Toca Boca!
Our second app is fun, and Thomas is going to walk us through Cookie Doodle. Again, this is a very fun activity, but it provides you with a step-by-step recipe. So let's take a look at Cookie Doodle.
And this one starts off by choosing your recipe. And so, Jeannie, what type of cookie would you like to make today?
Oh, let me try chocolate chip. I think that's the first one. No.
Chocolate chip.
Chocolate chip.
And it puts the whole recipe out and offers you all the options. And this was a good one for having students follow the recipe, finding the correct item, and offer some fine motor skills built in. So our first item is a cup of flour. I'm going to guess that's the flour. It has a shift it.
So you have to sift the flour, again, fine motor skills.
And it checks it off when you're done. Our next one is the baking soda. And this, again, has you tilt and dump it in. So it offers, some more interactivity.
Bilateral coordination.
The next one is the table or teaspoon of salt. And as you would imagine, better get that teaspoon correct. And then we have our sticks of butter.
Slice, slice. It's a language, verbs, nouns, action words, descriptors. These are wonderful apps. They're real recipes too. Each of these recipes you can then go and duplicate in your own kitchen.
Crack the egg. Then final part is the vanilla. You have to get the amount exactly right.
You have to get the right amount in there, Thomas.
And then, of course,
got to follow the recipe.
Like any recipe, we put all our ingredients in. You now
Stir.
Mix it up.
Stir it up. Stir it in the bowl. Sometimes while we stir with the kids, I actually have them sing a little song.
What songs do you have them sing?
It depends. I usually do a holiday song. If it's their birthday, they can sing happy birthday. Sometimes they make cookies for their mom. It's their mom's birthday, so they sing happy birthday to their mom as they're making cookies. Really good thing about this app is after you're done making the cookies, then they can also email them to their mom.
And
so
now
it's really nice follow through.
Yeah, I really like that about the Maker app and this app and a couple of them, that you can then send them off the device to care providers, grandparents, parents.
Mm-hmm.
So of course the next step in this with the cookie dough is rolling the cookie dough out so we can get it nice and ready to stamp our stamp in it. And so now we have a large selection to choose for stamps.
This is where creativity comes in.
Absolutely. So one of the academic things I like to build in is if I'm having students work on identifying animals or perhaps a specific holiday or specific shape, I might do that. So for instance, we might pick a letter over here. And how about we pick J for Jeannie? And we get our big J. And then so we can touch the oven to bake the cookie. So we're putting our cookie in the oven and we get a little bit of an animation.
Bake.
And now we have our cooked cookie, and there's again, that's not where the end of cooking cookies is, then it's just the next step. Jeannie, do you have a preference in frosting?
Chocolate always.
Chocolate frosting, okay. And so this is kind of fun. It's a can't fail, so you just rub your finger over and you don't have to worry about the mess, and you don't have to worry about missing or having any issues that we've messed up the cookie. Do you have a preference of piping or sprinkles?
Let's do some rainbow sprinkles.
Rainbow sprinkles.
Rainbow sprinkles.
So we'll come over to some sprinkles and we'll pick some rainbow colored sprinkles. Do you want it all over or just
all
maybe?
All over the cookie.
All over the cookie.
Lots of rainbow sprinkles. There we go.
And I have to say, in doing this many times with students with special needs, this is definitely one of the things they love to do, is all of the different options and choices all over the cookie. So now we have our rainbow sprinkled chocolate chip cookie.
Let's eat it.
And we come over to eat, and we can now eat our cookie.
So that was Toca Boca and Cookie Doodle. Both of those apps and others are available on our website, where if you purchase through our website, you don't have to pay any more. However, a portion of the sales from those apps will go directly to students with autism to provide them technology, iPads, apps, etc. So please do come to our website, look around, see what you like, and remember, you're not only purchasing apps to help your child in your situation, you will be helping other students obtain technology that they might not already have. So that was our show today. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time on Autism Today. Goodbye.